Hey guys, so as promised, I'm gonna do the review of the Mitakon. Actually, what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna compare the Mitakon to the other two lenses that I have here. So this is the Mitakon 55 2.8 macro, 1 through 5 times macro. This is the TTArtisan 100 macro 2.8, which goes up to 2 times macro. And then I have the Laowa 100 macro. Obviously, this is the tilt shift 2.8, which goes to 1 times macro, which is, you know, for tilt shift, that's great lens. So these two are 100 millimeters. This is 55 millimeters. This is a 1 times macro, up to 2 times macro, 1 times to 5 times macro. Biggest difference, you know, you can see the size. It's also actually priced. This is a little cheaper. This is, I think, under 350. This is about 400, and this is up there. It's 1200, 1300. So they're all GFX mount, but you can get them in different lens mounts. So it's very, yeah, I mean, great options. Obviously, the only other options in terms of Fuji, there is the GF macro, you know, the tilt shift lenses. They're much more expensive, and they don't go to 1-to-1. There's obviously the GF autofocus macro lens, which I don't even consider really a macro lens. It's not even 1-to-1. And with the extension rings, the optical performance is just pretty bad. It's also not flat field at all, which is, you know, watch my other videos about these, about my macro journey. What I really liked about this lens, obviously, the TTArtisan, is the flat field. So it's great for film scanning. This is a great solution for film scanning. It's pretty inexpensive. It's super sharp, flat field, awesome. Obviously, these two lenses are much more versatile than this because you can use them for portraits, you can use them for everyday shooting. Obviously, you know, tilt shift, you can do great product shots, which, you know, all kinds of different things. You can play with it in portraiture. You can do different things with this. I really like this lens. It's great. Has, you know, obviously everything you could possibly want in a tilt shift lens. And I'm gonna say this again. I'm super impressed with the way these lenses are made, and they feel solid. The you know, everything is smooth. Everything feels solid. They're fantastic. I mean, really inexpensive for you know, for what they can do. And I don't think that they're gonna, you know, I don't think that there's any quality in terms of build quality problems. Not that I've noticed, and definitely no optical issues that I've seen so far with any of these. Now, obviously, I haven't really gone into depth on this one yet. So what I'm going to do is, so this goes to 1-to-1, this goes to 2-to-1, this goes to 1 through 5 times. So obviously, there's a difference there. This does not have a focus ring on it, because if you work macro like that, you really don't need a focus ring. You kind of focus on a sled, moving the lens in and out, or the camera in and out. So that makes sense. Probably makes it cheaper and a little easier. Also kind of makes it a little useless or pointless for anything else other than macro. So yeah, this goes to 1-to-1, this goes to 2-to-1, this goes to 5-to-1. So I'm not going to compare these three. I'm not going to compare these in all different ranges. I'm going to compare them in 1-to-1. Maybe I'll look at 2-to-1 between these two. I'm going to keep this pretty simple. I know that the optical quality of these two is great. So far from what I've seen from this, it's pretty flawless as well. So I don't actually expect to be there too much difference in terms of sharpness and optical quality. I'm going to look at some backlit stuff too to see if there's any issues with fringing or any, kind of push the issue a little bit on optical quality. So I'm going to try and do that as well. But I'm going to keep it to kind of 1-to-1 range in this comparison between the three of them, because it makes the most sense. I'm probably going to go into depth on this a little later in another video and actually go into all the way to 5-to-1 macro craziness, which that's really close. Obviously this lens also comes with this USB-C light. I'm not going to use it for this comparison because they don't have it. It's not really fair. It's a different story. So I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so I'm going to shoot a couple of different things. Keep it pretty simple. And yeah, and then we're going to look at the files and see how they compare. Awesome. I'm excited. So I brought these files into Lightroom, as you can see here. So the first thing right off the bat, I noticed that when I was shooting it, there's clearly less, the Mitakon is clearly less contrasty. So clearly, I saw that when I was shooting it. I actually was happy that this little hair was on this bug here, because I could focus on it and kind of try to keep that in focus. So this is the Mitakon. As you guys can see, this is at 1-to-1. It covers. Now, if I bring this in here and just, it's just a matter of clarity. This is at 2.8. Let me see, sharpening. It looks like it sharpens fine. Anyway, I'm not going to play with that really, because I don't really want to, I don't really want to go there into. So this is F4. Now, everything else looks good. I like the out of focus areas. This is 5.6. See, it's a little milky. I mean, it's a little milky. It's a little bit of an understatement. I think that, let me bring this in. Yeah, I'm not sure it resolves as much detail as the other lenses. So let me go back here. We're just going into F8, F11, and I think this is F16, which I would probably not use on a lens like that. Just diffraction becomes an issue. So this is the TTArtisan, and you can see, boom, right away, a lot more contrast. We also see that there's a little bit of vignetting at 1-to-1. And yeah, so this is, again, focusing is really difficult, and I tried more to keep the crop pretty much exactly the same. And this starts to vignette pretty bad. I think there's also, yeah, this is definitely motion. I did have my remote plugged into the camera. Yeah, you can see. So this is hard vignetting right there. That's with the TTArtisan at 1-to-1. Yeah, at f16. And that does not really look that great, I have to say. So this is the Laowa tilt shift, and yeah, I guess the price at that point kind of shows with this lens. It has good contrast, good you know, micro contrast. It's probably also the sharpest lens. Let me see. There's some movement on that one as well. This one looked like focus shifted a little bit. Again, this is, you know, all this is definitely a very capable lens. 1:1, that's the biggest it can do. This is at 16. Oh, this doesn't look good. That's diffraction coming in. So now I shot, and this is actually the Laowa, because I just changed position here, and this is just out the window. I tried to get the detail on this. Now this looks really nice, really clean. I like the colors. 2.8. That would be 5.6, probably something. I tried to focus on, yeah, I guess it's in focus. So I tried to work with this. Obviously, this is the biggest magnification this lens will go to. This is 1:1. This is probably, here we go, that's in focus, just popped in. I can tell this is the Laowa, the TTArtisan, sorry, because of the vignetting. And one thing the TTArtisan has, it's a sharp lens in the center, and actually nice flat field. It just vignettes a little bit at 1:1 already. So this is popping into focus. And we can see as I close down, the vignetting just gets a little more and more. Here it's pretty pronounced. These files are nice and crisp, sharp. No problem there. I think we're, no, one more. Okay, so this is the Mitakon at 2.8. So I also noticed that there's a little less light coming through this lens, as you can see, because I kept the exposure the same on this one, and it's just a little darker. I just don't think that this lens is as sharp as the other ones. The lack of contrast is less visible here, obviously, than in the white background, but it sharpens up nice. I wouldn't have a problem with that. This is at 2.8, I'm assuming. So F4. So I guess the real interesting thing with this lens, obviously, this is 1:1. This is where it starts. So the real interesting thing here, yeah, it sharpens up nicely. So at a working f-stop, there's plenty of detail. It's just something to consider, but it covers everything's fine. And this would be, I think I only went to f11 on this. And I'm assuming there's a little bit of diffraction on this already. It looks like it. But these files are, you know, definitely workable, and there's nothing wrong with these files. I'm gonna go back and show you guys the like I said, as you can see right away, there's a certain lack of, well, there's a little bit of vignetting there too, just a touch. I did set up that white sweep really flat to make sure that it doesn't bounce, because I had the light right overhead, so it doesn't bounce back into the lens, so it wouldn't get any glare into the lens. Now the detail here, it doesn't look bad. It just has a certain, I mean, I generally don't mind less contrast. Try dehaze here, because you can always add contrast, so I don't necessarily have a problem with that. This is obviously a specialized lens, so yeah, it's a little difficult to really choose one of these. Optically, this is the weakest lens. It doesn't really surprise me, because it's obviously pushing certain limits of what's doable. I mean, 5 times, and I haven't gone into this, but I can tell right away from even 1:1 that the, you know, lower micro contrast and lower contrast overall. So obviously things can be done with lighting. I would probably, if I would shoot this, setting up flashes is probably key thing for this, which I would do with super close-up macro anyway. For the stuff that I usually shoot macro with, it doesn't really bother me, the low contrast, because I can pop it up in post. So that's not a deal breaker for me at all. It might be for some people. Obviously, we know that TTArtisan is a great little macro lens, inexpensive, vignettes a little bit at 1:1. Really not a deal breaker either. It's a great overall lens. And these two are optically, I would say, excellent. They're really good. Obviously, this does a lot more stuff, tilt shift, and you know, it's bigger. It's just a great lens. So if I compare these to these, it depends on what you need. If you need more than 1:1, this is the way to go. It's pretty compact, pretty you know, small, pretty inexpensive. There's a couple of things about the lens that are a little frustrating. So the focus ring, or the extension ring, is right next, if you're working 1:1, it's right next to the f-stop. The f-stop, I mean, I'm right-handed. It's strange because you have to either reach all the way around or all the way under. It's not that easy to turn. Again, this is nitpicking, and usually in macro you kind of work with well, it's not really true, because you usually open up the lens focus and then you close it down, and it's a little, yeah, could be a little wider. The ring could be a little wider and could have better grip, because the actual ridges are in a spot where it's not really handy. So I noticed that, yeah, nitpicky. The other thing about the ring light is I said in my first look that it was USB-C. It's not USB-C. It's mini USB. It's that weird little, I don't even know why people still make that. Everything's USB-C. Just make it USB-C. It was really frustrating. I just tried to use a different cable and it didn't work. So yeah, just tried to plug that in and it didn't work. So that was frustrating. Other than that, I'm gonna be. This was a quick comparison between the other two lenses. I think for me, this might actually be my favorite lens, and this sounds a little weird. Every now and then you need tilt and shift, and then that's obviously the Laowa is the lens to get film scanning. I would get the TTArtisan hands down. I don't really do film scanning, so I don't really need that. This is one that can get me that much closer to things, and that can yeah, at a pretty low price. So I'm excited about this. I'm gonna do another video showing like all the different magnifications, but so far it's looking great. So hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions, or and I'll try to answer them. Thanks.